Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Jensen, the Mom Ambassador Liaison at Moms Meet. Thanks for joining us today for the Applegate webinar, where you will get your questions answered by Becca from Applegate. If you have any questions, please be sure to type them into the chat window. With that said, Becca, please take it away.
Thank you. Hi everybody, we're so excited to be doing this webinar with you today. We have myself, Becca, on the line and some other panelists from Applegate who are all standing by to answer what I'm sure will be great questions. So with that, I'll just dive in. A quick introduction to myself. My name is Becca Brown and I'm the Communications Manager at Applegate. And I'm not a mom yet, but I am going to be in about a month. As one editor from Bon Appetit magazine just told me, I'm about to enter the deli meat phase of my life. So I think I have a lot to learn from all you moms out there who are packing lunches from your kids, and I'm excited to work at Applegate while being in the deli meat phase of my life. As you'll learn, that's a big part of what we do. So that's me. I will just dive into the presentation now. What we'll talk about today is just a quick overview of who Applegate is as a company, kind of a little bit about our standards for all of our products, a bit about our mission, and we'll talk about the products themselves, and then we'll talk some new stuff we have going on, as well as a few little of our favorite lunchbox tips, and then we'll wrap up and have plenty of time for Q&A. So diving right in, who we are. Applegate is an organic and natural meat company. We also make cheeses. And essentially, we make the products that people used to be a little bit afraid to eat. You know, maybe they were the mystery meat, the hot dogs, the deli meat that looked questionable. So a lot of people have crossed those items off their list, and you might be some of those people listening today. But we are proud to bring all of those beloved items back, and without the fear, without the guilt. And so we make the kind of food people love to eat, like hot dogs, deli meat, and bacon, without the mysterious ingredients associated with them. So you don't have to be afraid to read a hot dog label anymore, which we think is really cause for celebration. Our hot dogs only have beef, water, salt, and spices in them. We're really proud of our short ingredient label and our high quality ingredients. We think quality starts on the farm. So all of our meat is sourced from a network of more than 1,000 family farms. And the standards on those farms are really important to us. I'll get into them a little bit in the next slide. But essentially, you know, just like we believe ingredient statements should be simple, we believe farming should be simple too. We don't believe in a lot of, you know, extra hormones and chemicals given to the animals. We believe in doing things the natural way, just like they used to do for thousands of years. We feel like it's a pretty simple system, but obviously one that takes a lot of care. And in the end, not only is raising animals this way better for the earth and everybody's health, but it also really produces meat that tastes like meat. So again, back to those simple ingredient statements, when you have a turkey that tastes like turkey, you don't need to add a bunch of fillers and artificial junk. So in the end, we produce products that taste great and also really give you peace of mind, and that you feel safe feeding your family, and also that are convenient. Most of our products are all pre-cooked, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And our mission overall as a company is to change the meat we eat, and that encompasses a lot of things. We're really just out to improve all of the meat offerings in America and bring them to more and more people every day. So that's who we are. A little bit about our meat standards. So Applegate has an organic line and a natural line. And these chart kind of breaks down the differences between those two lines. A couple of key points before I dive into the specifics. The organic line, you know, the word organic is actually regulated in the United States. It refers to the National Organic Program that's run by the USDA. So the government has a whole list of standards that are required to be met before you can call something organic and put that nice little USDA organic seal on the product. So beyond what's on this chart, there's a bigger system behind organic. On naturals, what we think is, unfortunately, that is not the case. A lot of times you see natural on the label and you kind of scratch your head. You don't quite know what it means, and there's a good reason for that. That's because it's very loosely defined by the USDA, pretty much not defined at all. So there are no requirements for companies who use a natural claim, whether it's for an entire product line or just one product, or, you know, they say it's made with natural corn or something, one ingredient on the package. But we really pride ourselves at Applegate for defining what we mean by natural, and that's some of what this chart gets to. So in general, just a little tip is, while you're out shopping, if you find things with the organic seal, that is a super quick and easy seal of approval. You don't have to dig too much into the details because you know that it's made without antibiotics and hormones, free of GMOs, and a whole host of other good things. If you see natural on the label, it still might be a great product. Obviously, we think our natural products are awesome, but you just need to read a little further. You know, if it says natural and it doesn't say anything else on the label, that's a good red flag that you need to probably go to that company's website or just check them out a little bit more. But if it says natural, and like we do on all of our packaging, we list what it means to be natural, that's a good sign if companies are being transparent and kind of telling you why they're using the word natural. So that's a little background on that. And then just diving into our specific meat standards, Applegate's animals are never administered antibiotics. And I have a little bit more about antibiotics on the next slide. That's an extremely important topic to us, one we feel very passionate about. So if you're not familiar, a lot of times animals are given antibiotics to prevent them from being sick and to make them grow faster on farms. I'll talk more about that on the next slide, but it's a practice that we do not believe in. The animals raised for our products are never administered growth hormones. They are fed a 100% vegetarian diet that never includes animal byproducts. There's a lot of nasty stuff that is actually totally allowed to go into animal feed, and our animals don't get that. In our organic line, our animal feed is free of GMOs, which means that it's also free of fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. And we're really proud of that. On the natural line, some of the feed is free of GMO, but not all of it. And that is something we're actively working on because right now in America, I'm happy to get into this in the Q&A. The deal with GMO feed is that it's just really not, you basically either have conventional feed or organic feed. There's not a great market for GMO-free feed in the middle there. So it's just a matter of lack of accessibility, but we're actively working on that. And then our animals are all raised humanely, which means they're given room to engage in their natural behaviors. You know, a cow can act like a cow, which we think is very important for, again, back to that flavor starting on the farm piece. In terms of ingredients, no chemical nitrates or nitrites, which is actually one of the things that we became famous for early on. I'm not sure if I mentioned on the previous slide, but we've been around for 27 years. So in the beginning, there wasn't even an organic standard. So people, you know, were even more in the dark about what was going on with their meats. But everybody knew that chemical nitrates were kind of no good. And that was one of the things that really used to set us apart. Now there are more products about that have that attribute, but we've also improved our products in a lot of other ways too. So we also have no artificial ingredients ever, no fillers, and you'll find in all of our lunch meats, for example, you know, it's a turkey breast sliced just like you would slice your Thanksgiving turkey. And I don't know if that's certainly on my mind lately. You guys are probably all reading your Thanksgiving magazine issues too. So you can kind of call that image to your mind pretty easily right now, probably. So yeah, our turkey is just sliced like a piece of meat A lot of other brands do what they call form and press, where it's almost like a meatloaf kind of thing. They grind up the meat and then they put a bunch of fillers in it and then they slice that up, which is just, not something we believe in. So you'll see a nice meaty look to all of our deli meats, which also is an indicator that there's no fillers. We don't have any GMO ingredients in our products, which is a change that we made. Let's see, it's been a year or two long process to just check everything out, make sure no added ingredients contain GMOs, for example, cornmeal, that kind of thing. There should be a little asterisk here, I should say. We have there's one product that's still on shelves that does contain GMO ingredient, which is our corn dog, but we have a new recipe all ready to go. It's just a matter of changing over the procedures at the plant. So we just finished that up. That was the trickiest one of all, but it's about ready to go. So we're super proud of that. We know that's a really important issue for a lot of people. And we also just, we support GMO labeling and support a lot of those initiatives that are out there. We really believe that when people have all the information about their food, it really allows them to make the best choices possible. So we're all about transparency. And then in terms of sustainability, like I mentioned above, we don't use antibiotics. So that means that they're not out there polluting farm ecosystems and they don't contribute to antibiotic resistance in the environment, something again that we're very proud of. And then we also, we use proper manure management systems on all of our farms to, again, keep toxins out of the atmosphere and water supply. And we also have a nice geographic diversity of farms all across the U.S. and even some in Canada and abroad. So that helps the risk of spreading disease. I'm going to dive a little deeper into antibiotics. So we like to say we're anti-antibiotics. And, that can kind of sound like a polarizing statement. Just to be clear, we think that if your doctor is prescribing you antibiotics, we totally support taking antibiotics. That's not really what I'm talking about here. When Applegate says we're anti-antibiotics, we really mean antibiotic use on farms. And a lot of people don't know this, but it's kind of a staggering fact. Just because we all think, before I worked at Applegate and learned about all of this, my only exposure to antibiotics was, again, at the doctor's office. So I didn't realize that over 80% of the antibiotics sold in the United States are sold to farms. So factory farms are using 80% of the antibiotics in the United States, which is just, it's a really staggering figure. And it causes a lot of problems. And this little infographic kind of lays that out in a nice way. So you can see at the top, low doses of antibiotics are given to animals to speed up growth and ward off illness. So this is like, we like to say it's sort of like sprinkling antibiotics on your kid's cereal every morning to make sure that they don't, to kind of prevent them from getting sick at school and make them grow faster, even though I don't know if you always want your kid to grow faster. But that would be crazy. Nobody would ever do that. And that's what we're doing to animals every day in this country. And, it creates a lot of problems. So when you give antibiotics to an animal or a human in low doses on a regular basis, what happens is a lot of the bacteria in their system get killed, but the ones that don't get killed become stronger. Because just like we have antibodies in our system, and that's how the human immune system works, you get a little exposure to a vaccine or a sickness, and then you have those tools in your system to go back and fight that illness again. Although that's a little different than bacteria, but you get the idea. It's what doesn't kill it makes it stronger. The next time the animals get those antibiotics, they're not working, and that resistant bacteria is there, and then it just spreads out into the environment. So it can either go off the farm in, in the meat itself, and actually most Consumer Reports has a good study out most chicken, I think about 70% of chicken that they tested had antibiotic-resistant salmonella on it. So that's why it's super important to cook that raw meat, but also to buy meat that is labeled as antibiotic-free. So it's really out in the environment. It also gets out through, the food, the air and waterways, and also the people who work on farms, unfortunately, are super at risk for antibiotic-resistant superbugs when they bring it out into the population, and people can get sick. And if you, God forbid, catch an antibiotic-resistant disease, that means that antibiotics won't work to cure you. And you either have to fight it off naturally or just try, all the different kind of antibiotics out there and hopefully find one that works. So not to be a downer, but this is a really important issue. That's why I want to spend a lot of time talking about it. And I also have a nice link here. Resistance to Film is the film that we're working with. It really does a great job of breaking down the issue of antibiotics all across the board, whether it's in the doctor's office or on farms or out in the out just in the world. And we find it to be a really helpful tool. If you're interested, you can head to that website and check out the film. So that's antibiotic resistance. Again, that's something we work on a lot, and obviously all of Applegate's products are antibiotic-free. We're really proud of that. So next, a little bit lighter tone. Just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what we make and where to get it. So Applegate, a lot of people know us for one product or two products. Our bacon is really popular, so are hot dogs, and so are our deli meat. But just wanted to make you guys aware that we have a huge line of products. So here we have a little bit of a sampling. We have many different kinds of hot dogs. We have natural and organic deli meat. We have turkey, ham, beef, chicken. We have chicken nuggets, which you find in the frozen section. We also have chicken strips and turkey burgers. A lot of that's in the frozen section too. And then we also have pepperoni and a whole host of Italian-style deli meats. Our salami is another one that's really popular, and kids love it. Not too spicy. Great for snacking. This is actually our mini pepperoni shown here. I love that little label with the pig. They're small, so they're great bite size. I could keep them in my fridge sometimes and just snack right out of the bag. And then bacon is obviously hugely popular. We have many, many kinds of bacon, from our organic Sunday bacon, natural Sunday bacon. We have turkey bacon. We also just came out with a great new product called Good Morning Bacon, which is made from the shoulder instead of the belly. And it has 60% less fat than regular bacon, but it tastes amazing. So that's definitely one I'd recommend to try if you're interested. Also great mix-in, or bacon of any kind is great to mix into your holiday recipes, like, your sauteed Brussels sprouts or your stuffing. But all of these, if you have more questions about our product line, you can certainly bring that up in the Q&A, or just check out our website. We have a really great product section with all of the nutritionals on there, all the ingredient statements, and nice descriptions of every single product that we have. I think we have about 120 different products at least, so there's tons to choose from. Another tip is, if you ever want a product, one of our products, but you don't see it at your store, you can always ask the meat manager. They're actually surprisingly able to bring in new products on request, so never be afraid to ask them that. And in terms of where you can get our products, they're available all across the United States. We're in all the 50 states, and we did start out mostly at Whole Foods and in the natural type of grocery stores, but now we are really available everywhere. We're sold at Target and Walmart, Kroger, Safeway, lots and lots of stores, and we have a really handy product locator on our website as well. And I should also mention we make cheese too to go with all those sandwiches. So you sometimes find that right up hanging in the deli section next to the meats, which is convenient, of course. And then not only do we sell the deli meat, we sell it pre-sliced, but it's also available at a lot of the bulk counters, especially at Whole Foods. Just moving right along. One more new product I wanted to emphasize is our brand new halftime. This is our version of a lunch kit. There's another famous brand of lunch kits out there you may have heard of, and for many years, moms have been asking us to make a natural and organic lunch kit, and so we're really excited. This is our biggest launch ever. It just came out over the summer in time for back to school, and we partnered with some other awesome brands that we consider to be our good friends, Stonyfield and Annie's. Stonyfield organic yogurt, we have Annie's snacks in there, and then obviously the Applegate meat and cheese. And they've been really popular so far with kids and adults, surprisingly. They make great snacks for a plane or the car, great option for lunch, really anything, anytime you need a quick and convenient snack. And you know, what we're hearing from a lot of people is that these are items that a lot of moms have in their fridge already. And we're just, you know, this isn't meant for like an everyday kind of lunch situation. It's like, you know, what do you do on that Thursday morning when everything is going crazy and you woke up late and you don't have time to pack a nutritious lunch, but you just don't want your kid to have to eat the school food because it's yucky. So you just grab one of these and stick it in the lunchbox and you're ready to go. Maybe add an apple in there, maybe some carrot sticks, and it rounds it out nicely and makes it very healthy. Like it says right there, grab and go lunch you can feel good about. So we're happy. It comes in 3 varieties, bologna, ham, and turkey, and I can talk more about that in the Q&A if you guys are interested. So I'm going to close out with a few lunch packing tips. Like I said, we've been really focused on lunch lately because of halftime. You know, these days, I'm sure you're familiar, there are tons of great places online to just get lunch tips and inspiration, something we look at all the time. One of my favorites is, you know, a few of my favorite sources are bonappetit.com and Food52. Those are great sources. We also love La La Lunchbox, and really the sky's the limit. There's everything. There's apps, there's websites, there's meal planners. So just, you know, if you're a little stuck in a rut, that's a great place to start. And some other ideas here we have, you can rock it out with the Rock the Lunchbox program, which is a partnership that we do with, again, with Stonyfield, Annie's, Honest Tea, Rudy's, and Organic Valley. If you go to rockthelunchbox.com, you can see tons of ideas and even a great video. We have a great video actually from one of our awesome dads on staff who has 4 kids, and he is super proud to be the lunch packer in his house and has a lot of great tips, especially you can imagine with 4 kids packing that many lunches every day. He is sort of a guru on the subject and has some great tips. So that's a great source for inspiration. Another thing we just recommend is just planning. You know, plan. Write out your list on the weekends. Make a plan that really suits your lifestyle and that is achievable for you so you're not stuck. You know I am just a mess before I have coffee in the morning. So, you know, imagining trying to make all those lunches on the fly is an overwhelming thought. So the more you can think a little bit ahead, even if it's just 10 minutes the night before, we hear from people that really helps them. Not only it's important, we all know it's important to be self-aware, but shelf awareness can help too. We've heard that dedicating a shelf on the pantry to lunch favorites is a good tip. Helps things go a little further if you have kids that are, go a little faster. If you have kids that are old enough to pack their own lunch, they can just know that area is a place they can grab things from and mix and match. Same thing with the fridge. It's a nice idea to just carve out a little spot in the fridge just for the lunch box if you're packing lots of lunches. And then, like I mentioned, Rob is one of our dads on staff that did that video. I'm imagining that this is mostly moms listening, but it's important for moms to realize it doesn't have to be all on you. You know, there are other people in your family, and depending on how old your kids are, maybe they help come up with ideas if they're too little to pack, or maybe dad does it a couple times a week, or he does the shopping, and just get the whole family involved so you don't have to feel like it's all on you. because everybody knows that moms have enough to do on their plates. So those are just some ideas and conversation starters. We'd love to talk more about all of that, and even hear some of your tips in the Q&A. I always love to learn more about that. And in general, you know, obviously this probably comes across in our product line, but Applegate we really see ourselves as a solution for all of you moms to hopefully make mealtime easier. You know, most of our products are ready to eat cold or just heat right through, and then you have dinner or you have lunch. It's really, really fast, and you can still feel good about feeding it to your family. You know, you have that ease without the compromise. That's our goal. And that's